Okay, so this is a quick video of the camera image settings for the Vigilant recorders. Today we're working through the web browser, so you want to make sure to go to your Setup tab, Camera, and then Image on the left-hand side. When you're first in the Image tab, you'll have a Select Camera option. Here I only have one camera attached to this test unit, but if you had more than one, you would have a list of cameras here. You would be able to select your camera. Under Image Scene, we have some preset modes here, Custom, Indoor, which is obviously made for indoor, Custom is custom settings, Road Highlight Compensation. This mode is primarily if you have it facing a road, it'll be a little bit more likely to capture license plates at nighttime. Park Highlight is pretty much the standard outdoor mode. And that's why I have this camera here in outdoor mode. This is a outdoor patio here on a rainy day. Alright, under the image enhancement settings, you have your brightness, saturation, contrast. That should be pretty self-explanatory, as well as sharpness, noise reduction, and your image rotation option here. And this will rotate that image 180 degrees. Under the exposure tab, you're going to have some exposure modes here. Automatic is typically what we recommend using. Custom obviously is going to be a custom option if you want to make these adjustments yourself. The indoor 50 Hz and indoor 60 Hz are options that you can use if you're seeing any kind of light striping on your cameras from LED lights. You can change the refresh rate of the camera to kind of combat that, so you won't see that striping anymore. Manual is obviously another manual option, and then low motion blur is if you're seeing any kind of blurriness with facial features on people while they're walking. You can put on low motion blur and it will reduce that motion blur on their faces. Compensation is the actual compensation of all these entire settings. So if I move this right or left, it will basically darken the image slightly, and if I want to increase these settings a little more, it'll increase the exposure and exposure mode automatically there. Day-night mode is on automatic. You can, if you just want this thing to be in color all day and never have the infrareds, you can leave it on day mode. The same thing with night mode. You can kind of leave it in infrared mode all the time. Sensitivity is the level of when you want it to switch, and we have 4 options here: ultra low, low, medium, and high. You want to make sure to set that accordingly to your scene or to your application. The range here is 60 seconds, so once it does reach that threshold, it will be 60 seconds. Then it will switch over to either back to day mode or night mode. Shutter speed, obviously, gain, iris, you can adjust those things if you're in manual mode. Slow shutter on or off, and this is just also to reduce that motion blur as well. WDR is wide dynamic range, and when you're in manual custom mode, you can enable this and increase the levels according to your application. So you have smart illumination here. This is pretty much turning the IR lights on or off. Lighting type is infrared. Obviously this is going to be the only option for this camera. Control mode is, you kind of have 2 or 3 options here. The global mode, you kind of adjust the illumination and exposure to kind of get more of a balanced look. The overexposure restraint, it adjusts the illumination kind of to avoid any kind of darker light areas in the image. And then you have a manual option here that you can choose if you can adjust the illumination level yourself. Under white balance, you are going to have a few options as well. Right now this camera is set to automatic. In here you have fine tune, outdoor, sodium lamp, and lock. So with fine tune, it's going to allow you to adjust the red and blue offset manually. For the outdoor option, it's kind of suitable for outdoor environments, relatively greater color temperature range. For the sodium lamp, the camera kind of adjusts the red and blue offset automatically according to the lighting conditions in that area. And then the lock option, and it will lock the current color temperature without any changes. And down here in the advanced section, you will have a defog option, and this is kind of like a clarity filter. So if I reduce this here, the image may become a little bit more hazier. Increase it, it will kind of increase that contrast. And this is just a digital effect here, so I can turn it off in general and on. And that covers the image configuration and adjustments for the Alibi Vigilant cameras.